Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Evan and Aaron Show presents the Red and the Blues Soccer Chat. It is your boy Aaron and your very, very sad boy Evan sitting to his left. Man, I don't even know what to say, brother. I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to let you just kind of intro us in because I even went with a dark beer tonight. If this dark beer from Ireland wants to sponsor us one day, it can. But I don't even know what to say, dude.
Well, yeah. I will say good evening to everybody out there.
Oh yeah, that. Yes.
Thanks for joining in. Yeah. I honestly, I don't know what to say either. Just because, I mean, at this point, it's really hard to kind of figure out even what the malaise is for, you know, there's plenty of talent out there. And, you know, part of the issue I see, first off, Brentford doesn't suck.
No.
That's not.
Oh, which, by the way, we're just jumping right in. You know, but I would just go ahead and do the quick, you know, Bomani Jones type thing where you play a little bit of it.
Chelsea.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm dead.
And some people may be feeling that way. So, you know, honestly, I feel like a broken record because, you know, 3 weeks ago, we were sitting here and pretty much having the exact same conversation.
Ugh.
And, you know, you look at it, and Chelsea's results since last we spoke. Maybe.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Reggie.
Technology.
Well, maybe not.
Well.
There we go.
There it is.
So the last time we spoke was, I believe, April 5th. And since then, you've lost 1-0 to Wolves, 2-0 to Real Madrid, which is not, especially away to Real Madrid, that's not an embarrassment. Lost 2-1 to Brighton. Again, they're not bad. Lost, again, 2-0 to Real Madrid, and then lost 2-0 today to Brentford.
Yeah.
Supporting the LGBTQIA, the LGBTQA. As best we can here. So, I mean, that is... And the match prior to that was Chelsea-Liverpool, which I'm sure when people were getting ready for, you know, the season and where to put those games, we're really expecting
that was going to be the one.
Table, you know,
yeah, head-to-head matchup.
And instead, we got a 0-0, just sort of indicative of what both teams have going on right now.
So here's my problem. Here's a problem I have. For the entire month of April, we will have scored one goal. One goal. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where to begin to dissect that. I don't know what's going on. Like, today's match, and this is the truth, Aaron, and I don't know, Blues fans, if you guys are out there, you know, let me know. Today's match was one of the worst matches that I have ever seen Chelsea play. They were all over the place, man. I mean, with the exception of Mudryk and Chilwell working really well on the left side, they were the ones keeping up the pace. And Enzo working hard in the middle. I like the way Fofana looked at times. But, man, I'm telling you, they did not have... Because most teams in the EPL, they have a spark. Like, you know that, okay, they're building, and they're building something up, and they're going to score. Like, I never got that sense today. I never got a sense of Chelsea building anything. It was abysmal passing whenever they got close. They did not look aggressive at all, except for, like I said, on the left side, they looked, you know, somewhat aggressive. You know, I don't know what to say. It was an unfortunate deflection. Does Kepa save that second one? I don't know. But I think he would. It was just an unfortunate deflection. But even if it did end 1-0, they never looked like they really challenged to get back into this match. Everything was just flat. It was just flat. And the thing is that as Blues fans, guys, we're going to have to start to get used to seeing people go, because this is going to have to happen. We're going to have to clean house. We're going to have to let some guys go that we never thought we would let go. It's just time. And remember what we said on this show at the beginning of this season. I said it is going to be a roller coaster type of season for us. And I said, you know what? We may finish top half, but dude, I think we're in the bottom half. I'm not sure we jump into 10th. I don't think we do. And that's sad to say. There's even some speculation, and I won't go there yet, that we really are with the next run of matches we have, because we literally have United, City, Newcastle, and Arsenal, along with Nottingham Forest. We very well could only get 1 to 3 points out of the next 5-match stretch. And that, my friend, is that's we're too close. We're too close to the R word. I don't think we'll be there. I really don't. I don't think this club, I don't think we'll be there. But to be even mentioning that at this moment, and this is where I feel like a broken record, is just unacceptable for a club the caliber of Chelsea. We have tried to dissect what's wrong with this club. I'm not sure. Frank has tried to say that, we're playing for pride and everything. I don't even know. I don't know. I think these guys they haven't played together enough. There are too many guys on the squad, as we've always said. Too many guys on the squad. You're trying to figure out who plays with who instead of just picking your guys and saying we're running with these guys. That's all I've got, man. That literally is all I've got for this. I'm disgusted at this performance. And it is one of those performances to where you want to be a fan, but it's so damn hard to be a fan of Chelsea right now. It's abysmal. It's abysmal.
Well, there's a lot there, but at the end of the day, I go back to what I was saying 2-3 weeks ago, and that is Frank's got to find guys he trusts that give enough of a shit about Chelsea Football Club between now and the end of the year. You're not going to get relegated. It is honestly, that's pessimism talking, because in looking at the table, there's just not a chance in hell that's going to happen. But you've amassed 39 points. If you drew every game of the season, you come away with 38. So it has really gone pear-shaped for Chelsea. It's hard for me to say, I mean, Frank appears to have had no impact whatsoever.
No.
I don't see anybody in particular. In fact, what I see is guys like Thiago Silva, who are consummate professionals, don't want to be there. I mean, he's largely responsible for that goal, that second goal, because he gets back, recovers fine, does not have anybody else to worry about really. He's slow to come over, and he basically just hangs a leg out. So he's been late, he's been lazy, and he's blocked his own goalkeeper.
And you know what? I do like Fofana, but Fofana got beat by just trying to stab at the ball at the very beginning of that move. So
that move right there, that entire sequence of really aimlessness on the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too critical, but...
Oh, no, be critical.
I have no idea if Mudryk is any good or not, because I've literally... I don't think he knows what his role is. I don't think he knows what he's supposed to be doing. And he's not a good enough individual player to sort of make things happen.
We saw what he can do a little bit today, though. I mean, when you get the right combination of guys, I'm not saying that Chilwell's the right combination for him, but someone that is in that type of role, we see that he can push the ball up and threaten and deliver the ball into the box. We just have nobody running. We have nobody running into the box. We have no number 9.
I was admittedly watching a different game for most of the Chelsea match.
Sure. I was going back and forth too, man. Come on.
I saw Mudryk do one thing today, and that was get caught on the ball for Brentford's second goal.
Oh, no.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I mean, granted, he thinks he's trying to make something happen, but again, if you're going to play Joao Felix, it changes how the focus of the team. He definitely wants to be on the ball, and he wants to be in the middle of the field. It's really not how Chelsea plays right now.
No.
Well, I say that. I don't know how Chelsea
plays. There you go. I have no idea.
I would love for Frank Lampard to explain what the game plan is. And that's not completely on him. He's inherited an absolute malaise with this squad. But I turned myself down. It's really mind-blowing to me. I mean, I after everything that happened at the beginning of the season and the new owner and all that stuff, I thought Chelsea's going to wobble a little bit. Then you fired Tuchel. Definitely going to wobble a bit.
Yeah.
Brought in a guy who, Graham Potter's a nice enough guy, but he clearly was not a big enough character himself to handle that locker room. Performances have, really went down. I think it was silly to fire him, but I thought it was silly to fire Tuchel.
Yep.
And honestly, this is a from the top down issue at Chelsea right now.
Yeah.
I don't think Todd Boehly has any clue what he's doing, and it is reflected in every decision from his office all the way down to the locker room.
Yeah. And, I don't want to even use the excuse of, he's, an American coming in. Because here's the thing. The Glazers learned their lesson. They learned their lesson. Arsenal's owned, it seems like they have. Arsenal's owned by, American. And it's like, so we can't use that. It is literally Boehly's personality at this point that is blocking this team from growing. I don't understand. And you make a really good point. If you don't know who you are as a team,
right?
Like nobody will play in a system because there is no system. There's no system to follow. There's no system to play in. So here's the last thing I'll say about Chelsea. We have to find a way to get at least 3 points out of these last 5 matches. And here's why. We have got to be able to take care of teams we should take care of. And I want to see Nottingham Forest stay up. I do. I want to see them stay up. But it is imperative that we take care of them. It is imperative we take care of them, because if we draw with any of the other 4, that's going to be a miracle. That is going to be a miracle. And it's going to take an all-out, super Herculean performance for Chelsea to be able to pull that off. We are in a spot now to where the end of the season can't come soon enough, and it sucks as a fan to be in that spot. And, I think that Todd Boehly, I think he owes Chelsea fans an apology. Just say, hey, guys, I'm sorry that the season's ending this way. We're going to do better. But will we get it? Probably not. Probably not, because I'm not impressed with him. I am, like I said, I am disgusted. So I'm saying a bunch of shit. But that's just where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at.
To recap, Chelsea are shit.
Hey, there we go. Yep, there you go. Well, my friend, I tell you, the Red Devils are hanging in there. They really are hanging in there. And boy, I tell you, if you think Chelsea has some big matches coming up, Man U has some big matches that actually mean something coming up, man. How are you feeling going into these last 5 weeks of this season?
It's a mixed bag right now, really, because I'm really proud of what this team has been able to do. The improvement, I think, steady improvement that we've seen all season long, and I think they've made some very good progress under Ten Hag. I think the concern right now is things like the capitulation at Sevilla and how long it took to get over Brighton and Hove at the weekend. It's disconcerting from the standpoint of we really look out on our feet. They look leggy.
Yeah.
The tired legs are making some tired mental decisions at times. And I think it becomes, difficult. We've got a lot of injured players. We've got guys in various stages of suspensions and things of that nature, or having to address that. And we're not as deep in certain positions. I feel really bad for Harry Maguire. I do. I think he's not shown leadership. I think he's not really shown professionalism at Manchester United, and he needs to be moved on. But he'll go to a West Ham or
Leeds,
somebody like that, and he'll look fine. A team that plays on its on the edge of its own line, doesn't leave space in behind, and teams back off of a little bit. He's going to be able to show all the skills that he had at Leicester that have made him that got him to Manchester United and keep him in the England squad quite quickly. But he's got to go, and when you either have injuries, we're without Rafa and Martinez because of injuries. Got Luke Shaw filling in for Harry Maguire for his suspension at the weekend. But I look at it, and we've got Wan-Bissaka at right back, and then he puts Diogo Dalot at left back. Well, that tells me he doesn't trust Terrell Malacia much right now. Right? Brandon Williams was on the bench. I don't know where he would have gone if he'd have come in. He can play left or right side, but just seemed very strange to me. So, we've got Spurs tomorrow, and if Spurs won anything,
are we watching that game tomorrow? Are we watching that match together tomorrow?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yes, it's that time.
Yes.
But Spurs got dismantled the other day.
Oh my God.
They were down 5 goals inside of 25 minutes. And Newcastle's hungry and fighting for the top, but they didn't strike me as the kind of team that are going to hang 6 goals on Tottenham, in the way that they did. So Spurs are going to be angry. So they're going to come out wanting to have a response, and also they're trying to catch us.
Yeah.
It will take a couple games in us stumbling, and we have games in hand, but they're still fighting. Villa are looking real good right now.
Yeah, they are.
They've crept into the hunt. Then it's Brighton and Hove away, West Ham away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home on a Thursday. May what? 25th.
Oh, I'll be back. Okay, cool.
And then the last game of the season is against Fulham, so none of these are really pushover games. This is not an easy run-in, and that's 8 games left in the league, and then on, I believe, May? No, I'm sorry. Wow, June 3rd.
Oh, my. Oh, there it is.
The FA Cup final.
Okay.
So,
the treble.
I'm definitely not excited to play Manchester City. That is, I know it's a Manchester derby, and form goes out the window and all that, but that's going to be a team looking to complete the, the treble, the real treble, the league, the domestic cup, and the Champions League. And only one other team's done that, and that's Manchester United. So City definitely wants to, make a point, and we want to make a point and say, no, we're the only ones that have ever done it, and you're not allowed in that club.
Exactly. That's going to be a hell of a match, dude.
I watched what Manchester City did to, granted, what's clearly a bit of a sliding and mentally, kind of struggling Arsenal today, but there was not a single moment in that game where you thought Arsenal's really got Arsenal's really got a foothold here.
We got Arsenal fans here.
A platform to get back into this match. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And they, from where they were a few months ago when I thought, you know what, of course they have the attacking talent.
Right.
Very good.
Right.
They had weaknesses, and you could look at and talk about ways to get at them.
Yeah.
And I don't see that right now. I don't really see a whole lot of weak spots in the armor. Well,
I actually, on the way in, I was able to talk to some Arsenal fans, which, hey, guys, it was good talking to you. And yes, Saliba being gone, absolutely, that's hard. That is tough. But they even said, they were like, look, we're tired. We played a lot of matches, and I got to give it to them. The fact is that I was joking with them. I said, hey, is Arsenal pulling an Arsenal right now? And literally all four of them said, no, we don't think so yet.
Yeah.
We don't think so yet. They're still up 2 points. And, and I know it's very slim, and City has a game or two games in hand.
2 games in hand.
They may have given this away, but if they finish strong, I still think it's a season they can be proud of, obviously. I think that they are right there with City. I think that if they just work on their fitness, yes, fine. But here's what I have to say about Man U. I think that Man U can go into that June match just as hype, just as pumped up as Man City does. Because, number one, it's a derby. Number two, it's for the treble. Number three, you're right. You guys are the only ones that done it. And so there is some pride on the line here. And I think all of those guys feel it. But here's my big question. Is he going to be fit?
Don't know. And that raises a really good point and goes back to what I was kind of touching on earlier, and that is United aren't deep right now and are very overly reliant, obviously, on, look, you're missing your starting center back pairing. That's going to impact any team.
Yeah.
Right? Lindelof, to his credit, has played very well, and he had, he's the Iceman. He had ice in his veins to hit that penalty. But we don't really have a good partner for him. We're not going to between now and the end of the year. Varane may come back. Martinez is done for the season.
Right.
And Casemiro is obviously integral to how this club performs. We've learned that Bruno is integral to how this club performs.
Yes.
He was obviously missing in that Sevilla match. Eriksen is a wonderful player. He doesn't have the same sort of work rate and coverage that Bruno does. And then obviously, we're really struggling in the number 9 spot, as are a lot of teams.
Right. But I would say this, and I want to get your opinion on this. When Bruno and Eriksen are together, it just seems like that's when Man U are at their best.
It's the trio. United have yet to lose a match in which all 3 of those guys are on the field together.
Yeah.
So, and that's awesome. But 2 of those guys are on the wrong side of 30. So that's not going to be something that we can rely on, as the season, or after this season. Obviously I think they'll be back. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you're asking those 2 guys to cover an awful lot do a lot of work for us to be successful. So I think another central midfielder in the offseason is going to have to be important. Obviously a backup center back, maybe somebody through the youth academy, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then a striker. We've been linked with Kane, again, wrong side of 30. Knows the Premier League. Obviously, he's the league's best goal scorer.
Hollands don't fall off trees, man. They just don't fall off trees.
Osman might be the better choice. He's younger, and I think he fits in with what Ten Hag is trying to do, which is obviously run that high line, have a lot of pace running at you. I mean, let's face it, Rashford.
I was just saying, can Rashi turn into that 9 for you guys?
No, I mean, he's been playing there at times, but I think he would tell you that he's much more of that attacking wing role,
Okay.
and that's his best position. So, no, we need to find a true number.
Okay.
But back to what I was saying, if you're looking at Rashford, Sancho, Osimhen, and Antony as your, rotating front three, that's pretty solid to me. I mean, I know Sancho gets his criticism. I'm still sticking with him for the time being because of what he can do. But, back to the original question, I'm cautiously optimistic that, we've got 9 games left, and I don't see us taking maximum points, but I'm confident we're going to finish in the top 4 and hopefully bring home another trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, my friend. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have reached the halftime spot in our show. My friend, I am going to offer the halftime shot, and I know this is going to shock you, but those 4 gentlemen that I had a conversation with on the way in, those 4 Arsenal fans I had a conversation on the way in. Guys, this is to you. I have lived your day today for the last 3 months. So here's looking at you. Yeah, it sucks. It really does. But, hey, good form this year, and hope you guys finish strong. Aaron, what do you got for us, man?
Mine's a bit more general, and we kind of have chatted about this a little bit previously, and that is, some days it's tough to be a fan of your club when things aren't going your way. It really is, and trust me, over the last few years, as a United fan, it's been a yo-yo, but you stick by them, and you stick by them in the right way, and there's a counter to that. When your team's doing well, cheer for them. It's totally fine. Good little heartfelt banter, that's fine too. But, there was an incident today where somebody decided to take it a bit too far. And so far that he has now found himself banned from this very establishment. And it's just really silly, all right? There's no point to it. Have fun with your banter. But you can carry it too far.
Yeah.
And, nobody likes a sore winner either. Nobody wants a pompous ass to be around. So for that particular City fan, and I'm not singling out City fans, this was a City fan.
Yeah.
I'm saying every fan base has got 1 or 2, and it's the job of the rest of us to be good fans and caretakers of our team and this sport. So to that guy, you're a dick. Get fucked. To all the good fans out there, you're welcome anytime.
There you go.
Slancha.
Slanty.
All right.
Wow.
Wah.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Okay, that was a very brief USA because there's really very little to talk about. The last game they played was a lot of the domestic-based guys.
Yes.
It was good to get some guys minutes. I don't see very many of those guys being called back in.
No.
Later this month? No, that's in June. For the final of the CONCACAF Nations League against Mexico. Honestly, the game we played the other day was basically a scrimmage between 2 B squads. And that's fine. That's why we have
That's what we do.
That's why stuff like happens. Don't complain about it, folks. It's the nature of the game. If you don't do it, these guys don't get the reps together as a team.
Right.
But I didn't see a whole lot that makes me think any of those guys are going to get an opportunity at the A squad really anytime soon. Maybe 1 or 2 guys that are a bit more veteran.
Yeah.
It was a 1-1 draw. I guess congrats Ricardo Pepi for scoring. He has been doing well at his club, so I wish him the best. I still don't think he's the answer, for the U.S. national team on a permanent basis. And speaking of permanent basis, we still don't have a coach. So
you want the job? I mean,
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't really want that job. Would be, then we had names bandied about there for a while. And nothing seems to really have moved on that front. So
got the moves.
It's the Claire Bear dance. Right? So, we didn't learn much from that game. And we've got the CONCACAF Nations League, and then the Gold Cup coming up. That's I want to say 4 days after that CONCACAF Nations League game. It's up in Chicago against Jamaica. I may go.
Hey, there you go.
It's a Saturday. I mean, could be a good time. But yeah, I really haven't seen a whole lot, and honestly, it's very frustrating as a fan of our country's national team.
Sure.
To really just still be in the dark on a manager. I mean, we've got, it sounds like a lot of the veteran players, Pulisic in particular, have championed having Berhalter.
Right.
And look, if the guys feel like what is happening under Greg Berhalter is a net positive, and I thought we largely played pretty well at the World Cup. I think we could have done better.
Sure.
But everybody but one team can say that. So I think there were a lot of positives. I think the whole Berhalter-Reina family saga overshadowed a lot of things. But the reality was we got out of our group, I would say comfortably. Played some really, really good stuff at times, and unfortunately ran into what was, in retrospect, a pretty good Netherlands squad that did all right on its own. So, look, if we're actually building towards something, that would be great. That said, it sounds like Jesse Marsch and Thierry Henry are both interested in the position. I think it's worth interviewing those guys and seeing what their vision is, what's their plan to win a World Cup on home soil. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. That has to be the goal. It absolutely has to be the goal. And if we fall short of it, there's no shame in that. But
that has to be it.
We got home cooking.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got home cooking. We've got our home camp. This is the perfect setup. And I tell you what, right now, if Mexico and Canada aren't saying the exact same thing, then there's no point.
Shame on them.
Yeah, there's no point. And I guarantee you, Mexico is saying things.
Oh,
like that. They are saying our goal is to win a World Cup.
I think by the way they performed last year, I think Canada's saying the same thing. I think Canada's like, hey, guys, look, we can get lucky, and we can take this thing.
Thank you. And we gave a big shout-out to your Legibidakwe T-shirt.
Yes. Hey. Nice. Hey, nobody. Hey, you know
better.
They know better. That's right. A couple things I want to say about this is that, guys, listen. Yes, absolutely. I wanted to stop the alarms being sounded. I've read so many different comment sections and stuff like that saying, oh, my God, what's going on? Guys, this is preseason football. For those of you who are too American to understand the beautiful sport, this is preseason football, okay? You can't put a whole lot on this because we're not seeing our guys. Yes, congrats to Ricardo Pepi. He looks, okay. He looks fine. I think he makes the squad. I think he'll be there, but I think that we are set up to have a really good run at this next World Cup. What's the matter?
I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, I think that as far as the coach situation goes, as well as I do, in group sports, the group a lot of times matter as far as who the manager or the coach is. And Berhalter, for all the shit we gave him last year and then the praise we gave him during the World Cup, I think the guy is a solid manager. And I think that in this case, you want a manager to grow with the team. This is what I think made, and yes, he's kind of an idiot for all the controversy he stirred up, but this is what made Claudio Reyna a good coach for us, in the fact that he was able. No, I'm sorry, not
Greg Berhalter.
Yeah, no. Before. This is what made Reyna a good coach for us, is because he grew up. Oh, sorry.
No.
Who? No, not Reyna.
Well, it was Bruce Arena.
Yes, Arena.
And then.
Sorry. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Bruce Arena seemed to grow with USA Soccer. He seemed to be that guy that kind of just matured along with the team and got it to a point to where we were like, oh, okay, well, watch these guys. And I think that, with Jurgen Klinsmann, we try to bring someone in that was a really good coach. And yes, Klinsmann did great, he did fine. But I want to see USA Soccer speaking. I want to see someone grow with the team. And it seems like Berhalter is going to grow with this team. It seems like that he's gotten more and more familiar with the guys. Seems like he knows how they play. He was able to take a Gio Reyna aside and say, hey, look, here's the thing. You're not going to play that much this time. But here's why. Here's why. And I think that the reason why these guys are now saying, hey, we kind of like this guy, is because of things like that. To where he's like, okay, I know how these guys respond. I know what they can do. And so, therefore, I'm like, hey, why not listen to the guys? However, you have waiting in the wings. You have a guy like Thierry Henry. You have a guy like Jesse Marsch who have incredible experience in this sport, in this game. Yeah, I get it. But what do you go for? Do you go for rapport? A coach that already has rapport with these guys? Or do you go for, an outsider coming in? And at this point, what kind of club are we? Are we a club that will say, okay, we accept Marsch, we accept Henry? Or are we a club that's like, he's the skipper. He's the guy that's going to get us there, and we're loyal to him? Because, that matters. It matters. Loyalty matters. And if Pulisic and those guys are saying, hey, Berhalter's our guy, we really like playing for him, we don't think that what happened with the Reynas and him matters, I think we need to listen. I just think we need to listen.
Well, the problem is it doesn't sound like any of these conversations are taking place at all. I mean, World Cup's been over for 5 months now. The investigation has been over for at least a couple months and found that Berhalter didn't do anything wrong with his wife, didn't do anything wrong with the whole Reyna situation. There's no, behind-the-scenes bullshit. So you haven't invited these guys in for an interview yet. I don't know if they, I don't know if, they've fired Ernie Stewart. I don't know if anybody has called Christian Pulisic and some of these other guys and said, hey, what do you really feel? That was it was an interview, but what do you really feel when it comes to this?
Yeah.
And, to your American football's this is preseason comment, well, we're starting preseason without a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
And how do you proceed? If you're the Indianapolis
Ask the Cleveland Browns.
If you're the Indianapolis Colts and you don't have a coach going into the season, how do you prepare for your season?
Yeah.
We are just over. What? We're now a month and a half away from the next truly competitive match. And you don't fuck around with Mexico. All right? Then we enter the Gold Cup, and the Gold Cup determines, right, where we get placed and shit like that. Those games matter too. And then you're going to have to start playing these, we've qualified for the World Cup. We don't have to worry about that, but we got to start lining up competitive matches during these international windows so that we can take the probably, I'm guessing 16 or 20 guys that we definitely know we want in the squad and rotate the next 8 or so that come 2026, when it's time to roll that ball out for the first game in probably D.C. or New York or wherever, that there's no question as to who the starting 11 is if everybody's healthy. There's no question as to who's in the squad if everybody's healthy.
We don't want to pull a Chelsea. We do not want to pull a Chelsea right now. Like, we don't want to go into 2026 still wondering, okay, who's going to be where and all this other stuff. Because if we do that, we're in trouble.
Yes.
We're in big trouble. So.
Totally agree. What you got for me next?
All right, man. Well, we are moving along to, yes, absolutely, the Hey Aaron segment of the night. And as we announced last show, we are kind of going back to our roots a little bit during our Hey Aaron segments. We're going back to the Evan and Aaron show because we want to. There's so much going on in our world that we want to really address some things. And, yeah, we'll go across the pond every once in a while, but really a lot of the shit that we've got to address is happening in our own backyard. And, you know, on this show, we are incredible allies. Like, we are LGBTQIA plus allies. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We were able to interact with you guys last June during the Pride Parade, which, you know what? Plan on being there again in full force. But my question / just topic that I'd love to hear your opinion on, man, is just these bills that are coming out as far as limiting or ending trans affirmative health care that's going on in our states, in some of our states around. And
good friend of the pod, Daver.
Good friend of the pod. It's sad. It's really sad because, like, when it all boils down, they're just these are just mean laws, in my opinion. They're just mean. But I want to hear from you, like, just kind of your take on, you know, the whole why and what should we do as supporters and as allies. What can we do to kind of, I don't know, help?
It's a good and relevant question for right now. I do think the bills are misguided. I think they're born of a very misplaced fear that has really been fomented on the political right, on the hard political right, over the last several months to a couple years. It's first off, the bills and all of this seem very much like a solution in search of a problem. I don't think there is a rash of incidents around this country where, let's face it, the concern is people who are largely presenting as biological males competing as transgender females. And cut me some slack on the absolute terminology. That's not what this forum is for. I'm absolutely trying to use the appropriate terms where needed. I won't always get that right. Know that I'm trying. My point is that we're not really seeing an issue of, some girl who is just killing it at softball and decides that she wants to be a baseball, be a boy and be a baseball player.
Yeah.
The concern, manufactured though I think it is biological males competing with biological females under the guise of transgenderism and things of that nature. And one, I don't think there's a whole lot of teenage boys pretending to be girls just so they can be good at sports. I'm not saying it's never happened or won't ever happen, but you really somebody needs to start presenting hard evidence on this, because again, it seems like fear. You can probably point to one or two incidents around the country, but the reality is, if these people are actually, say, transitioning, then somebody tried to make a point on a talk show. I can't remember specifically what it was, but they were like, you don't have any problem with this. And they're like, no, I don't have a problem with it. And they're like, so you're telling me that if tomorrow LeBron James decided that he wanted to be a woman, you'd be okay with him competing in the WNBA?
Speaking of which,
and the correct, well, that's what jogged my memory.
Yeah.
The response to this, which I totally agree with, is yeah, because after he starts transitioning and taking hormones and stuff like that, his testosterone levels will not be above it. And that's what happens in professional sports.
Yeah.
But that's a separate issue, right?
Right.
And what you really have now is a true, these check your genitals bills and things like that. First off, I'm pretty sure you have to have a physical to compete in organized high school sports.
Yes.
And I don't see this as an issue in like peewee sports because women are more physically gifted at a younger age than boys are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was a girl that competed on my boys' soccer team until we were probably 13 years old, and she kicked everyone's ass. I didn't see anybody complaining about that.
No.
So if you can come to me and say, oh, my gosh, yes, it's happening by the hundreds and thousands around the country where boys are faking it and pretending to be a girl on the weekend so they can dunk on girls, I just don't see it. And I'm with you. They do seem to be very inhumane from the standpoint of they're treating transgender people as less than human, and if you hear their rhetoric, a lot of them actually believe that.
Yes.
I believe it was a state representative from Tennessee that basically called them subhuman. And I mean, if we can't, I have to have a sidetrack for a second.
No, go ahead.
We've known about other genders and intersex or ambiguous sex for hundreds of years.
Yes, absolutely.
Hundreds of years. Every major society on Earth has had it in some form or another. And you'd know this if you were allowed to open up books, which we're also banning. So this is all coming from one particular place.
Yep.
And it's yet again a sign of a separation, an us versus them mentality. And it's really ugly. And the answer is vote.
Yeah, there you go.
Speak out.
Don't boo. Vote.
If you're going to be an ally, sometimes that means sticking up for people.
Yeah.
You know, being an ally and being anti-fascist in 1942 meant you went and helped out our brothers and sisters across the pond. And they're the original allies. They're the original Antifa.
Yeah.
And you know what? Today, if you see somebody bullying a transgender or anybody in the LGBTQ community, if you call yourself an ally, you stand up for them. You get in the way, you stand side by side, you do whatever it takes because that is a human being.
Yes.
And they deserve the same respect and dignity that we all deserve.
Ladies and gentlemen, holy cow. That was literally the mic drop on... And there it is. Oh, gosh. Man, we actually may end
Obama out.
Obama out. We may end tonight to where IG, you guys get a chance to actually watch the show.
Might make it to the gram tonight.
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Man, I tell you, Blues fans, just keep your heads up. You know, we will weather the storm. We'll make it through it, and it'll be okay. Red Devils, man, you guys just keep going, keep doing the thing, man. Because honestly, and this is what I love about this podcast, is that we can give each other shit about our teams and stuff like that. But damn it, as long as it's not City, that's what I'm just saying.
See, I'm okay with City coming back and winning the league. They are the strongest team in the league.
Yeah.
That cup belongs to us.
There you go.
And we intend to put red ribbons on it.
Yes. So, last part of our show, guys. This is where Aaron gets to send us out with just his random last thoughts. Listen, thank you for joining us tonight. Come out to Chatham Tap. New seasonal menu here. Everything is really good.
Yes.
I'm probably going to have the chicken parm tonight.
Oh, it's delicious.
I'm going to have the chicken parm tonight. But Aaron, send us out with your final thoughts, my friend. Love you. And I'm so glad to be here with you, buddy.
Well, piggybacking on the Hey Aaron segment, the world lost a true ally. 96-year-old Harry Belafonte was, first and foremost, a black man living in America.
Yeah.
And he loved art, he loved film, he loved music, and he loved people. And he made a life and a career out of supporting all of those things. He basically introduced America to, calypso music. He acted in movies. He became, friends with Sidney Poitier, but probably his biggest relationship was with Martin Luther King Jr. and he was with him pretty much every step of the way. He helped MLK's family out. Martin Luther King was a preacher in the South. I don't think he made a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Harry Belafonte bailed him out after the bus boycott, I believe. And he has just been an activist his entire life. Worked with Quincy Jones on We Are the World, which was just the tip of the iceberg with regard to his support for the continent of Africa and trying to get it out from under the yoke of Western colonialism. So Harry Belafonte he was an amazing man, and if you ever saw him, he probably had a big smile on his face, and gave a very stern talk as well.
Yes.
Because he lived what he believed, and he deserves our respect and recognition for that, and he was a real one. He will be missed. 96 years old, folks.
Yep.
So with that, I raise a glass to Harry Belafonte. We need more like him. And that is it, folks. All the news that is not fit to print. Thanks for tuning in. As Evan said, come out and join us here at Chatham Tap. If you're planning to come over the weekend, they're open at normal time on Saturday with the regular menu. But again, that seasonal menu, try it out.
Yes.
I'm quite the fan of the Chicken Caesar Rep.
There you go.
And then, in addition, 9 o'clock on Sunday for all the games.
Man, big, huge matches coming up for the next month. Make sure you get out and enjoy them, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.